Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. Hair flipping on the toes. Hi.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy, the Sean Davey Way Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, we survived Mexico. Many Americans have been vacationing in Mexico for quite some time. It is a very beautiful place. But as of recently, it's becoming more evident that Americans are dying there and their causes of deaths does not add up. So we're going to jump right into surviving Mexico and the deaths that happened there that have not been explained. We will start our journey with 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson, who went to Cabo and shared a villa with a few of her friends, and she ended up passing away. Her death is unexplained, so we're gonna jump right into it. Was her friends the cause of her death? Or was it something more sinister that has been happening in Mexico? Let's dive right in. Article from Fox 8 News. Charlotte, North Carolina, Queen City News. It's become a mystery in Mexico as a Charlotte family tries to find answers to how a 25-year-old wound up dead. Conflicting reports have had them wondering what really happened at the villa in Cabo. It was supposed to be a fun, long weekend for Shanquella Robinson and her group of friends who went to Cabo to celebrate one of their birthdays. Quote from Shanquella's mother. She told me they had a chef. They were getting ready to eat. They were eating tacos or a salad or something, and I said, okay, I love you. Have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I never talked to my child again. She never made it back home, her mom, Salamandra Robinson, told Queen City News. Salamandra says she was dead within 24 hours of her daughter's arrival. Figuring out how or why was only added to the family's nightmare. It started with a frantic call from Robinson's friends. Quote from the mother, Salamandra. They said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning, she said. They couldn't get a pulse, she continued. Each one of the people that was there with her was telling different stories. When the family made calls to the FBI and Mexican authorities, they learned of another potential cause of death. When the autopsy came back, they said it didn't have anything to do with alcohol. Salamandra said, they said that she had a broken neck and her spine in the back was cracked. She had been beaten. Salamandra says the entire group returned from Mexico, leaving her daughter's body there. Nearly 2 weeks and $6,000 later, her body is back home, but answers have been hard to come by. Salamandra's quote, I know that's not going to bring my child back, but I want something done about it, she said. Queen City News spoke with officials at the U.S. State Department in Mexico. They refute the claim that Robinson was murdered, saying the police initial indication is that there was no clear evidence of foul play. Here in Charlotte, her family refuses to believe their daughter's death was an accident, and they vow to find the truth about what happened that night in Cabo. Salamandra's quote, "She had a heart of gold. She loved everybody, and pretty much everybody loved her," Salamandra said. An official with the State Department told Queen City News they are helping the family obtain reports from authorities in Mexico. They recommend the family hire a private investigator and an attorney if they question the circumstances surrounding Shanquella's death. We've covered the fact that Shanquella Robinson passed away. What we haven't covered is exactly how. So let's get into the friends of Shanquella and what they had to say about what happened to this woman, this 25-year-old innocent black woman, before she passed away. Friends lie about what caused Charlotte, North Carolina businesswoman Shanquella Robinson's death in Mexico. A successful Charlotte, North Carolina businesswoman who went on a trip to Mexico with her best friend and 5 other people is dead. And her best friend of more than 5 years, Khalil Cook, is lying about what happened to her. On Friday, October 28, 2022, 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson, her best friend Khalil Cook, and 5 others named Malik Dyer, Winter Donovan, Alice Hyatt, Dejanay Jackson, and Nazir Wiggins went to Cabo, Mexico. The North Carolina Beat obtained the photos of everyone on the Mexico trip below. Shout out to the NC Beat. The next day, Saturday, October 29, 2022, Shanquella Robinson's mother, Salamandra Robinson, said they received a phone call from Khalil about Shanquella resting and not feeling good, and that she had puked a couple times. She said they felt at ease because they figured Shanquella was dealing with a hangover. Come to find out, that was not the case at all. From Salamandra, after he told me that she was resting and not feeling good and that she had thrown up, I told him to just call us and keep us informed on how she is doing, Salamandra said. Khalil called again and told Salamandra that the ambulance was there at their villa. Her quote, "He told me there was about 3 ambulances there and they were trying to resuscitate Shanquella," Salamandra said. Salamandra said that Khalil then put them on hold and they were confused because he had just spoken to them and thought that Shanquella was fine, just lying down resting because she wasn't feeling good. I was like, "What's going on now?" Salamandra said. When Khalil returned to the line, he told Salamandra that Shanquella had alcohol poisoning. However, Salamandra said she was a little calm because she trusted Khalil and believed what he was telling her. Salamandra's quote, "He came back and told us that it was alcohol poisoning," Salamandra said. "We were more calm, I guess, because we trust him and we kind of believe what he was telling us. Unfortunately, medics could not save Shanquella." Khalil and the 5 others had to hurry and get out of Mexico to escape being caught up in legal troubles, so they returned to the U.S. a day earlier. Salamandra said that after Khalil returned to the U.S., he brought Shanquella's luggage to the house and reiterated that Shanquella had died from alcohol poisoning. Salamandra's quote, "He brought her luggage to my house when he got back and kept saying she died from alcohol poisoning," Salamandra said. "At that point, I just said I was going to wait for the autopsy to come back." Khalil kept coming around the family, trying to make it seem like he was innocent and didn't know what happened to Shanquella. Salamandra's quote, "He kept coming around the house every day. His mom is with him," Salamandra said. Shanquella's sister, Quilla Long, said that something was eating Khalil up inside. Quilla Long's quote, "Now that stuff done happened, I can go back and say that's why he was pacing. I mean, you would have thought he was coming off something like he was high. He was nervous. He was sweating and grabbing his beard," Long said. "It had been eating him up then." When Khalil came back to Salamandra's house, he brought Winter Donovan and Dejanay Jackson, 2 of the 3 girls that were with them in Mexico, with him. Donovan and Jackson told Salamandra and her family the same story Khalil told them. Shanquella died from alcohol poisoning. Shanquella Long said that her family had gotten phone calls that they were over there in Mexico fighting and jumped Shanquella. Long said she asked the girls if this was true, and they told her it wasn't true. Quote, by the time Khalil brought the girls over to my mama's house, we started receiving calls that they were over there fighting and jumped my sister, Long said. We asked them if this was true, and they said no, and that there was no fighting at all. Salamandra said that she and her family stayed calm and trusted Khalil, and he was sticking with his story, and her daughter had died from alcohol poisoning. Days after that, the autopsy came in and told the whole story, Salamandra said. Shanquella's autopsy revealed that her death was not related to alcohol. Instead, it showed that she had a broken neck and had a cracked spine and was beaten. Salamandra said that she and her family received photos of Shanquella in which her face was swollen and she had a knot on her head. Her eyes were swollen and her lips were split. The U.S. Department officials in Mexico reportedly denied that Shanquella's death was a murder, citing the police investigation did not reveal signs of foul play. I'm confused about how the Mexican police did not find signs of foul play when everyone on their trip told Mexican police that Shanquella died from alcohol poisoning initially. But the autopsy revealed that they were all lying and that she was beaten. So how was that not foul play? Khalil Cook, Malik Dyer, Winter Donovan, Alice Hyatt, Dejanay Jackson, and Nazir Wiggins all should be in Mexico's jail right now for the murder of Shanquella Robinson. Most of them have gone into hiding because they all know what happened to Shanquella and are lying about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Shanquella Robinson did not die from alcohol poisoning. So why would Khalil Cook lie to his best friend's mother and family like this when he and Shanquella have been best friends for years and have gone on family trips with Shanquella's family? Sick. Side note, let's do some dissecting before we finish this article from the NC Beat. So Shanquella Robinson went on vacation with her best friend Khalil and 5 other people. During the vacation, on the first day of the vacation in October, Shanquella was attacked by females inside of the group that they all came to the villa with. Now, Dejanay Jackson is supposedly the woman in the video that has surfaced that is physically harming Shanquella. I'm going to take a step back and say this. Remember, this all happened on the first day. So why would I not feel that Shanquella was targeted? Meaning that if this was day 2 and some things had transpired the night before and there was a physical altercation, that would make more sense. But for the first day of arrival, for you guys to get there and Shanquella is already getting into a physical altercation with another female and no one did anything about it. Shanquella in the video clearly did not want to fight. She didn't want those type of problems. She didn't get physical is what it seemed as if. She wanted nothing to do with this. So it's literally a person being physically assaulted that is just covering their body from certain harm, like basically blocking their face and things in that nature because they do not want to fight. So I feel that there was a motive before Shanquella even got there, that there were certain people in that crew, which Dejanay Jackson, I believe, is one of the main culprits, that wanted to hurt her. And they did just that. So with the Mexican police overlooking the physical abrasions on her face, the split lip, the knot on her head, the eyes swollen shut. The only thing I can think of them overlooking those things, because I don't think they overlooked it. I think that they did question her friends about it. And I think the friends told them that she committed those on her own, that they were all self-inflicted, that she was drunk and she was falling and staggering everywhere, self-harm. We don't know exactly what happened to her. She came back to the room like this or back to the villa like this. She was outside for a while, so we don't know. I think that they said something aligned with that for them to not be arrested immediately. I also feel that it is definitely foul play after they're telling you that all of this is happening due to alcohol poisoning. And come to find out that she didn't even have enough alcohol in her system for there to be any poisoning at all to Shanquella. None of the friends alerted the police that there was a physical altercation between Shanquella and another group member that was attending the vacation with them. They never said anything like that. And they also never said anything to Shanquella's family about the incident. I do not feel that if you pay attention to the video of the fight, I'm not showing the video because it is very graphic and it's sad. So I don't want to show it. But in the video, if you pay attention, it is day. It is daylight coming through the windows during the altercation. How the room is lit, you know that it's daytime. So again, that altercation happened the first day they got there. So with that being said, I feel that this was a setup. I feel that she was set up by her own best friend Khalil to be injured by people, for her to be hurt. Now, them taking her life, I'm not going to say that was deliberate. I'm not going to say that. But causing harm to her was definitely on the agenda. You just get there pretty much. The girl didn't even have on any clothes. So it was like just getting off of a flight, showering. You come out the shower and you're already being attacked by someone, and then you have people in the room recording the altercation, telling her to fight back, and she's just like, no, I don't want to fight, you know, I don't want anything to do with this. So it's a very sad situation. I do not feel that this fight is what caused her death. I think something happened later. I think this happened again. Tensions were definitely flaring. And with that altercation happening, more did. There was another situation that happened that took Shanquella's life. This incident is not where she had her spine cracked and where her neck was broken. No, this happened later. And it also, now there could have been certain injuries to her body while this physical altercation was happening, but the domino effect to what ended her life happened later on. So again, this physical altercation happened right around the time the poor girl got there. So to me, that is definitely a setup. I state that I don't feel that it was deliberate with them trying to end her life, was due to her injuries. If she was strangled, you know, or something like that, then I would be like, okay, you were literally trying to take her life. But due to her spine and due to her neck being broken, I feel that that was accidental, meaning that they were in the process of trying to hurt her by beating her, because I believe she was jumped when her life was taken. I believe it was more than one party that was injuring her at the time when she passed away. I think that they beat her really badly and they didn't understand what was happening to her because she wouldn't wake up with a knot on her head. She probably definitely suffered a concussion and was unconscious while other things were happening to her body, and it was just way too much, and she just ended up passing away, is how I feel. But again, that happened later on. And Lil and his friends know exactly what happened. A guilty conscience speaks. So with Khalil being consumed with the family, it was more so to be around to find information as they find it. So I'm telling the family that she passed away due to alcohol, and that is not the reason she passed. But they knew that she was consuming alcohol, so they just felt that they could blame it on that. Like the autopsy report would not reveal exactly what happened to that young lady, to Shanquella. And when the information came out with the autopsy, as you notice, Khalil stopped coming around the family. Again, a guilty conscience will speak. You know, Khalil, exactly what happened to your alleged friend. And again, these were never Shanquella's friends, because this would have never happened. Real friends protect and provide. They do not place you in situations to where your life can be taken. So none of these people were her friends. But let's continue. Amandra, which is the mother, and her daughter Quilla Long, which is Shanquella's sister, received phone calls that there were physical altercations with her daughter while on vacation in Cabo, meaning that someone had physically assaulted her daughter while she was on vacation. And not only that, she had allegedly gotten jumped while on vacation. When Khalil came over with Winter Donovan and D3ATH Jackson, which allegedly D3ATH Jackson is the woman on the video that has surfaced that is physically assaulting Shanquella, she asked all three of them when they came over to her house if there was a physical altercation, if anything happened to her daughter, did she get into a fight with anyone? They all said no. They all said that there was no fighting. That is a clear lie when allegedly Khalil was the one recording the altercation. So you're lying. Why would this woman believe anything that comes out of y'all mouth if y'all have already lied about something that is literally on video? Now you did the unthinkable. Now what happened to my daughter is definitely your fault. Why would she not feel that way? You told her a bold-faced lie. I think people will look at this situation differently if Khalil, Winter, and Dejanay told the truth and say, yeah, we did get into a physical altercation, like we did put our hands on each other, or I did fight her, but this had nothing to do with it. Like what happened later, we don't know what happened to her. We did fight. That did happen. I'm not going to lie, but I would never want to try to take her life or anything like that. Or Khalil could have said, yeah, there was a physical altercation between her and another girl, that was there, this Dejanay person, but that had nothing to do with what happened to her later. Like, we don't know what happened to her. That's not what is being told. What happened to her happened in front of all of them. They all saw what happened. That is why they all left immediately. As soon as they could convince the police that this had everything to do with alcohol instead of us doing this to her, they hightailed it out of Mexico. They all left. Why leave if there's no guilty conscience? I'm not just leaving my best friend there. I'm not. I'm going to have to figure something else out, but I'm not leaving my best friend, especially if I don't know what happened or what happened to her was innocent. I'm not leaving. But if my hands are dirty, I'm getting out of there. I'm definitely leaving if I didn't do what needed to be done. If I did not report to the police what happened, you are just as guilty as the person that did it, knowing what happened, but saying nothing. Also notice, just like I'm sure a lot of you did too, that Malik Dyer and Nazir Wiggins have not stated anything. If I was Salamandra, I would get an R kit done on my daughter as well. The reason being is because we do not know what happened. Most people are assuming that what happened to Shanquella happened because of what Dejanay Jackson did to her based off of the video. But remember, that was during the day, meaning that she spoke to her mother, Salamandra, later on. So that means that she was okay. If her spine was cracked and if her neck was broken, that would have been a different conversation that she had with her mother. So Dejanay did not do that. What happened in the autopsy, the pain that was inflicted, that didn't happen at that point during this video, meaning that that happened later. So the injuries that she had, men could have definitely impacted those quicker than a woman. Remember, men are stronger. Their brute force is going to be stronger than a woman's. So these men could definitely be responsible for what happened to Shanquella. Did they R-word her, beat her into submission because they saw earlier that she's not a fighter, she's not going to fight back? So did they, get her alone and do certain things to her and they thought she would be okay, but she ended up not being and her life was taken in the process? I mean, who knows at this point? We have to do our own investigation since it doesn't seem that the Mexico police is willing to do much about this. But again, I would definitely check that out as well. These men have been ultra silent. Again, they all lied about the physical altercation that happened in the first place. And it's even on video. So I don't know. I will question everything and believe no one. I will believe no one's story and question everything and try to find the answers naturally, then finding them through 6 different liars. They are all liars. Khalil, Malik, Winter, Alice, Dejanay, and Nazir, they are all liars. Let's get back to the NC beat. Salamandra said she wants something done about what happened to her daughter. I want justice for my daughter, Salamandra said. Shanquella's sister, Quilla Long, told the North Carolina Beat that she didn't think Khalil was as dirty as he is. Her quote, "I wouldn't have thought that Khalil would be as dirty as he is," Long said. "He's a dirty MFer. And if I had known what I know now, I would have gone to his A and the girl's A in my house." In an emotional phone call with the North Carolina Beat, Shanquella's father, Bernard Robertson, said his daughter was left for dead. His quote, "They left her there, man." An emotional Bernard said, "They left my daughter over there. I can't believe it. Bernard said he could not believe that Shanquella's best friend Khalil, who invited her on the trip, would leave her. "How can you leave my daughter and she's supposedly your best friend?" Bernard said. "How could you do this to us?" According to Bernard, Khalil didn't even offer any condolences. He only reached out to Shanquella's mom and sister, Bernard said. "He never gave me any condolences, and if he had any remorse or something, he would have done that." Bernard said he's 100% certain that Khalil Cook knows what happened to his only daughter. Bernard's quote, "He knows what happened. He knows what happened," Bernard repeated. Shanquella was known by hundreds of people and loved by hundreds of people. The North Carolina Beat will continue to stand beside the Robinson family and help them get justice for Shanquella Robinson. Shout out to the North Carolina Beat. I appreciate everything that they are doing. It's the ncbeat.com if you would like to go and check them out and support. I appreciate them campaigning for the Robinson family and helping them find some closure and get justice for their daughter. They deserve peace, and I feel that these parties that were involved need to come forward and state what happened so that the family can have the true peace they deserve, because you've already taken enough from them. Hold up, y'all. Don't move. We have an update. So Nazir is whom I believe this is. They're keeping his identity secretive, I guess, like on the blogs that are posting him. They're not putting his name. So from what I gather, this is Nazir. And Nazir stating that he did not arrive to the vacation in Cabo until the next day, which was Saturday. You know, the altercations and whatnot allegedly went down with Shanquella on Friday. He did not come until Saturday. Now, they were stating that they were celebrating someone's birthday. I don't know if it was multiple birthdays, but Nazir's birthday, he basically missed it, I'm assuming, because he wasn't there on Friday. But he did come on Saturday, and he's come forward to state what he thinks happened, I guess, because he said he wasn't there. So let's listen to what Nazir has to say. From what I'm gathering, this is Nazir Wiggins.
She was not feeling good, so I instantly go to her, put on her side, get a bag, and all that. So I'm sitting right next to her the whole time. I was crossing my heart and hope that I was there the whole time in the game room, and then they was talking about cooking, so we made it to the living room. I cut on some soft music, sitting with her, rubbing her head, just chilling, waiting until the nurse came, because that's what I was informed that was happening. At first I was told that it was a male coming, and then a female showed up. So by that time, I skipped another thing. Quilla wasn't found dead. She wasn't found dead. The maids found her slumped over the toilet in her room. That's what they did find her, slumped over her toilet in her room. That's what I was told. Quilla was not dead when I got there. Yeah, boom. So it's like, okay, so when I get in there, goddamn, have fun. I didn't have not 1 second of fun. Didn't take one shot, didn't smoke one blunt, didn't do anything. I went straight to Quilla. She was not found dead. She was found unresponsive. Yes, unresponsive. She was unresponsive. I tried to get her to talk to me and all that, but it was none of that. There was none of that going on.
I'm confused, especially when they're stating that there was a nurse there. What type of nurse was this? Because when you find someone that is unresponsive, if you can't get them to respond, then you call the ambulance. You get them hospitalized, because they need to be connected to certain machines that's going to let people know what's going on, like brain activity, the level of their oxygen, blood count. I mean, there's so many different things that they're going to want to know, especially if the nurse is pointing out that that person has a knot on their head. They could be going through a concussion, or all type of things could be happening right now. You don't necessarily know. You can't tell that off of a glance, you know, of someone. You have to have the necessary things there to read their vitals and whatnot to make sure that they're okay. So I don't know what type of nurse this was, but they need to be in trouble too, because this woman was unresponsive. Unresponsive is never good when you are coming on or coming to somewhere a patient, you know, maybe, or someone that is injured. So with her being unresponsive, it's like, did they actually find a faint pulse? Or was she actually gone? Because this whole time he's sitting there thinking he's talking to this girl. If she's not responsive, you keep telling her to get up and stuff like that. She doesn't listen. She doesn't move. You know, or anything. You're just rubbing her head. She's unresponsive. Like, this is bad. You know, alcohol does not do that. Hangovers, you're groggy. Even if you touch a person like while they're unconscious, they still will make noise or move their body, you know, and stuff like that, or just tell you to get away from them or grunt, you know, or something. So that means that that's responsive, that you're responding. But if there is no response, you're basically just a body laying here, then that means that we need to get you to the hospital. Nobody did anything. This girl was sitting around right in front of them. If she didn't already pass away, she was dying. And nobody did anything, not even the nurse. But let's keep listening.
I tried to get her to talk to me and all that, but it was none of that. There was none of that going on. Oh shit. Yeah, but other than that, I did. Oh yeah, I know y'all probably asking that. When I walked in there, I didn't really notice the knot on her head until the nurse pointed it out. I did see the bump on her lip. She did have a blood vessel bust in her eye, and that's it. But I didn't really go in there like, damn, y'all jumped her, y'all beat her ass, what's going on? Like, cause they know, man, and nobody even told me about nothing. I was blind to everything. I'm literally in there giving her my all. Like, come on, girl, we is 2,000 miles away from home. Everybody that know me heard me say this shit. That was my first video when I got there, or second, cause I made a video of me pulling up to the villa, but he was cutting up the guy. I tried to get the timestamp for y'all, but that's not gonna work. So I guess the real FBI or whatever had to put those right timelines together. But I'm gonna start with the NCB. That faggot is so stupid and got y'all believing everything that's wrong. I was not there till the next day. I didn't see a fight. I didn't know it was a fight. I didn't know it was a video. I didn't know they did any harm, anything. I went in there and told it was alcohol poisoning, so that's what I helped her as. I didn't leave her side. I cut on soft music. Summer Walker rubbing her head till the nurse came in. Nobody even talked about the nurse. Nobody even said a nurse came. None of this stuff. So I'm really not understanding where this story is coming from and why it's out here like this, because it's wrong. It's wrong. And for y'all to be attacking me, an innocent soul, like, I'm really innocent as fuck. I went there to enjoy my birthday. Like, to enjoy my birthday and to really just goddamn have fun. I didn't have not 1 second of fun. And take one shot and then smoke one blunt and didn't do anything. I went straight to Quilla. She was not found dead. She was found unresponsive. Yes, unresponsive. She was unresponsive. I tried to get her to talk to me and all that, but it was none of that. There was none of that going.
He is claiming his innocence, and I am not going to say again that he is guilty. He stated like, hey, all of the stuff allegedly happened the night before I got there, which is on Friday. I didn't make it there until Saturday evening, you know, and whatnot. I just got there ready to party and turn up. It was my birthday weekend, so I was very excited. All the stuff had already transpired. When I got there, she was sickly. You know, she was laying in the bed and whatnot. I get it, but I didn't know what happened. Nobody told me, you know, anything. I'm coming into a situation that had already taken place. So I could see that. I'm not saying that he's lying. He could definitely be telling the truth. I don't know. But when he's saying that they didn't find her dead because she was slumped over the bathroom toilet, if they had to move her from the toilet to the bedroom, then that means that she was unresponsive. So who knows exactly when she passed away? So when he was playing the soft music for her and rubbing her head, you know, and all of that stuff, she could have been dead already. Or dying within that moment. Because again, alcohol only does so much to the body. So it's not going to have you literally unresponsive. And if it does, you need to be hospitalized. You don't sleep off being unresponsive. You don't sleep off falling into a coma or whatever her brain activity was within that time. She was literally dying and they had no idea. So again, her not being in a coffin when you got there or a body bag does not mean that she was alive. But it doesn't mean that this man is guilty. It does not mean that. It doesn't. But no one to me is innocent. But at the same time, I do understand what he's saying because they didn't even tell the family that there was a physical altercation. So why would they tell him? I do think that He just showed up at the wrong place at the wrong time is what it sounds like, but let's keep listening. Let me know in the comments if you believe Nazir. There's a lot of people that don't, that think that he is cap. Everything he's saying he's lying about, just trying to protect himself. You let me know. He did drop certain receipts about proving that he did arrive the next day. And again, if this all happened on Friday, he didn't have anything to do with it. But it doesn't mean that he didn't know what happened, or they didn't tell him what happened, or he was, I don't know. Again, we weren't there. All we can do is listen to what they come forward and say. So let me know in the comments if you believe his story. Do you believe him, or do you think that he's lying? We all want to know. I know I do. But until part 2, I love you all. This is Bye For Real this time. Bye.